Hello everybody, I am Joshua, and welcome to Simtastic Builder here on the Sims resource. Now today I am building a house called Shimmering Sands, and that is because it is in the world, Egypt, that came with the Sims 3 World Adventures. Now as you can see here, I'm not actually building it in Egypt, and that's because it was not my original intention. So, I started building it in Hidden Springs, and then I moved it to Egypt, and then the game kept crashing, so I moved it back to Hidden Springs, but the final house is in Egypt, so that is where it is. So it's a very Egyptian-style house, and that's why it's called Shimmering Sands, is because, sands and Egypt, they kind of go together. So anyway, there's a lot of CFE work, or constrained floor elevation, that went into this house. You can see there's a lot of different levels going on here. And you can see I'm just putting them in. So the main house, the shape is a very square shape, but what's interesting about this house and makes it very unique is that it has a bunch of different trees that come through the house, which you'll see as we progress. So I'm going to have like a bunch of holes, if you will, that go through the house where some trees will be growing through, so it kind of makes it look really cool, especially from the interior where you can just kind of see some trees that just grow straight through the middle of the house. And it adds a very interesting aspect to it. Anyway, you can see here I'm just adding this thing that goes down through the middle of the freeze level here. Yeah, so I don't know, I was just trying to add a bit of accent and stuff, something to make it look less boxy, although the final house is pretty much a box, though I do add an entrance, which I'm doing right here actually. So this is where you enter into the house. It's going to be like a little room, you can see it's connected to the main house, which is very interesting. So it's a very unique house, even though it's kind of square in shape. So actually, right here I'm putting the main hole, if you will, that goes to the middle of the house. So there's really big palm trees that come through here. As you can see, this is what it actually looks like. So there's a giant hole that goes down through the middle of the house, but it does a good job of separating the house out. So right here I'm putting in another one, and also there's like little bits that are cut into the roof around these holes as well to add some interest. And there's also going to be plants in those as well. So there's some plants on the roof, as well as like a bunch of landscaping around the house, obviously. Anyway, so when I start trying to put trees in here, I'm thinking, well, maybe these palm trees fit the best. So that's when I ended up moving it to Egypt, and then I have to end up moving it back to Hidden Springs because the game kept crashing in Egypt. So it's very annoying. So anyway, so the whole house is mainly built in Hidden Springs. Oh, here in Egypt. Yeah, so I do build a little bit in Egypt. So you can see here, I'm just finishing off. I don't know how much I do in Egypt, but I'm putting the trees in here. And we're kind of like alongside the river. I'm presuming it's supposed to be the River Nile, although it's not a very big river. So that's where the house is situated in Egypt. It's very beautiful. You can like see the pyramids, and as you'll see at the end of this video, there's going to be some overview shots of the house in Egypt, and you can see the view of the pyramids. Quite stunning. Yeah, anyway, I'm just putting in the third and final, I guess it's the fourth hole that goes through the house, or I don't know what to call it, cutout maybe? I don't know. Yes, anyway, I'm just adding the foundations, the, what do you call them? They're stages. Yeah, I like adding stages on roofs of modern houses. I think it looks really nice. But anyway, you can see there's the last palm tree. So you can see these palm trees just kind of go through the middle of the house, which I think is very interesting. Definitely something I've never really done before. Where's the giant palm trees? We're going to get there. Oh, there we go. It's a giant palm tree and a smaller one. So you can see these palm trees kind of go through the middle of the house. It's very interesting indeed. So you can see you're just changing the color of these into the future carpet squares that are for placing plants on. That's how I place the plants on the roof. So yeah, I'm just changing the color of them so they kind of match the actual grass that's around the house. And I used a lot of this long grass as well, not only on the roof but on the ground as well. It's very interesting. I don't usually use it, but it goes really well with this house. You can see here it's putting some plants on the roof, adjusting the trees. I also put a pool in. There's the pool, kind of. There we go. Nope, never mind. Okay, there we go. I was trying to get it to work without wrecking up the house. Yes, there's a nice pool, and this is going to be the entrance here. Got some nice stairs that go up to the house entrance. So you can see there's going to be 2 levels of staircase because there's a foundation and then another foundation-sized frieze, and then the actual house, and then another frieze, and then the second floor. So there's a lot of frieze levels, so it does fill up all 5 levels. Buildable levels in the game. So there's the front door. You see I put that in. I'm also putting in some windows here. This whole area goes all glass. I was originally trying to mix it up a bit, but I ended up making it all just large glass windows, which looks very nice. You can see I'm just adding more stage tools in. I love this stage tool in modern houses. It just really looks nice. So there we go. So there's a bunch of glass, as you can see. That looks very nice. Very modern, of course. There's another palm tree. Some more palm trees just going in around the place. Also some of these little pink stuff. I do a minimal amount of landscaping at this point, and I will come back and finish it off later. yeah, so there's some more windows coming in. I'm putting in the smaller windows here. I like the little square windows because they go well with the big modern windows because they're pretty much the same window except one's absolutely tiny and one's huge. So they kind of go well together. Putting in some more windows there on the side of the front door, and also these things where the trees come through the house are completely covered in glass. You can see straight through the walls. That encase the trees that go through the house. So so there's not holes in the house, but just glass pillars, if you will, with trees in them, which looks very cool. Anyway, I'm putting in the staircase here, which wraps around this part of the house, so you can get up to the second level, of course. That's always useful. The final house is 2 bedrooms. It looks like a pretty large house to have only 2 bedrooms, but that's because both bedrooms are quite large. And just the way the floor plan was, that I really couldn't fit in 3 bedrooms without making it completely bizarre. So there's a bathroom there. This is the guest bedroom, if you will. I don't know, it could be any bedroom. So that's in the front there. It's the first bedroom, and then the master bathroom is there. That's the closet, and there's the master bedroom. So all the master suite is up here. Also, I have holes in the floor with some glass inserts here, as you can see I'm putting in. I believe I just do 3 of them. And I think it's very interesting. I don't know. It's certainly nothing I've done before either. I think it looks really cool. So you can see there I've done that. Also some windows coming in here down the side of the house. I use these kind of long windows for the bathrooms and square windows everywhere else. You can see there's a lot of little windows down the side of the house. Also, I'm putting in a back deck, which is always nice to have. It's a 2-layer back deck because that's the way the house is. It's made out of 2 layers of foundation, kind of. So you can see there's the first layer, and here's the second layer coming in, which actually looks really cool. And I also put a balcony for the master bedroom above it. So there's plenty of outdoor areas for your Sims to enjoy, which is always nice. So there's some nice glass windows coming in and some smaller ones. And yeah, so that's the shape. I think that's all the structure finished. Now we're doing exterior wallpaper. And I go with this really nice Egyptian stone that came with World Adventures, and I use that just as an accent around the place to make it kind of blend in with the world. I think it looks really nice. I love that stone. It looks really good in the Egypt world with the landscape and everything. I like the colors. It's a beautiful color, kind of like a golden color. So you can see there I used it in those areas. Everything else is green stucco, and I think a light brown or cream stucco. I don't use this wood because it didn't look modern. So I ended up scrapping the wood, and I ended up using that wood, I think, actually for the flooring, or a darker version of it. Which you will see, because it's just way too much of that wood. So there's the cream coming in. I think I darken it. And yeah, so I'm just putting that around the place, and I will change the wood eventually. So yeah, I'm just wrapping around the cream to the roof. I do change the colors a lot, and they definitely go through a bunch of different stages here. Yeah, so what are we doing here? Putting in some more plants, yes. So yeah, just a few more of those grass things and some bushes. I love those bushes from Supernatural. I use them in almost all my houses. And a bunch of flowers and rocks and stuff. Make it look very nice and pretty. As you can see, a bit of dirt terrain paint as well, which is always nice. Yeah, so that's pretty much finishing off the landscape at this point. Just a bunch of flowers and bushes and stuff. And it's very nice looking. I really like the way it turned out. And it just looks absolutely beautiful. Also some sand there at the front. They're kind of like, it would be weird to have a pathway because there's not like a road to the house, so the pathway would just kind of end, so I put sand there instead. Here we are, we're replacing the wood with a brown stucco, which I later changed to green. So you can see here I'm just changing that out. The brown didn't look too bad, but I think the green looks better because it kind of blends in with all the green on the plants and the grass and trees that are around it. And it is a little bit more of a contrast to all the sand, so yeah. Anyway, I'm putting in, finishing up the paint details at this point. And yeah, so we're beginning on the floor plan downstairs. I don't know if I did. I think that is the floor plan downstairs. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm just putting the glass around all the parts of the house where it's going to be looking through to the rest, if you will. Now we're like the trees go through. Oh, here, actually, we're changing the color to green. There we go. Yeah, I like the green a lot better. It's a very pretty green, too. Yeah, so there we go. That's taken care of. And what am I doing here? Just adjusting the plants because they were clipping through the wall. And yeah, so that's pretty much the colors done on the exterior of the house. So what am I doing at this point? Am I going to change the color inside? I think that's still brown. Anyway, yeah, we're beginning on the furnishing. I think I just lay it out a bit so I kind of know what I want to do, and then I come back and finish it off later. So that's really the layout of the main sitting area in the living room, but I do change the colors of everything later. Here we go. I'm changing the stuff, the inside bits to green, which makes more sense. And So yeah, we're gonna be, oh yeah, changing out the floor there, so it's kind of like that wood I was talking about earlier. Oh, here we are, we're back in Hidden Springs, because, yeah, Egypt kept crashing in that last clip, the one of me building in Egypt. I actually redid that so many times because the game kept crashing, so I eventually gave up on Egypt. So the house, I do everything from now on in Hidden Springs, so, you know. Anyway, we're working on the living room here, and I'm just changing the colors of everything. It's green and orange, which is really pretty, actually. You can see we have these orange couches. Or not couches, orange sectional sofa and the green chairs with the orange pillows. I also darkened the wood color on the floor, so it's a bit richer. And yeah, I use wicker rugs throughout the whole house because, I don't know, I thought it suited the house well, and I love using these wicker rugs. I think they're just beautiful. All I use is the Into the Future green carpet squares for placing plants on. I just change the texture to wicker. It works really well. And there's the yellow horse that appears in all my houses, of course. And yeah, just putting in a light. I think, am I putting lights in? Yeah, there we go. There's a lamp. I like that lamp a lot. It's probably like the most object I use most from Diesel stuff. It's actually a really nice lamp. What else do I put in here? I put in a grand piano, of course. I mean, needs something to fill the room. I also put a fish tank somewhere. Or no, maybe I don't. Yeah, also a drawing slash drafting table, I guess. I put that there, so it looks out the front, and in Egypt it looks out to the river, I believe. So it'd be a beautiful view, and you could, you know, draw or paint something there. I don't know. Changing all the window colors, so they all match, which is always nice to have. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing here. I think they're just like a gray metal or something. I don't know. It's a gray color, whatever. It looks nice. It kind of contrasts the warm colors of the house because it's a very cool color and material, which is metal. And yeah, so there's just some more wicker rugs and also some blinds for privacy, I guess. I don't know, if someone's boating down the river, you maybe don't want them to see into your house. I don't know. Yeah, there we go. There's the ceiling lights, just putting those across the place. And yeah, that's pretty much the living room, putting in some details like some sconces. I use these lights that go above the windows and stuff, which is very interesting. Yeah, but I think I don't keep them above those windows. I don't like that. Yeah, but there we go. So yeah, just adding in some decorative items to make it look, you know, lived in and stuff. Another lamp there, and I think I put a plant in the corner. Yes, I do. I also put a desk over here behind the TV area. So I don't know. I think I have a computer there, so you can use the computer or something. I do that later, though. Anyway, this is the entrance to the house. There's a bit of a runner there, and some shelving units and stuff. So I believe I put a shelving unit here. Yes, I do. So there's some shelves and also a little cabinet area with a seat there, so your Sims can sit and put their shoes on or something, or they can just place whatever crap they want to on that table. And also we have a little shoe rack, which is nice. So you have a nice shoe rack, and a bunch of books and clutter items, I don't know, just to kind of make it look more lived in. I don't know why you'd have those books there in Egypt. I mean, I don't know, it doesn't seem like that kind of place, but whatever. Also some oars over the, well, not over the shelves, in between the shelves, which looks kind of nice. I love those oars, and I've been using them a lot of recent times. Also getting in a plant there, just to kind of make it look more detailed. And some blinds, putting those in all around the place. And yes, so what's going on here? Yeah, here we're putting the desk area. So there's the desk, just so you can have a computer area, and I don't know, you can compute there. I don't know. I mean, it's good to have a computer. It's pretty much an essential item for a sim. They can get, you know, chat with someone online, or that's how they get a job or something, you know. Also a small bookshelf next to it so they can store things on there. And I also put curtains in, which I think I do later. Anyways, a little sitting area over here. I really love this love seat from Pets. As you can see, it's kind of like a modern thing, but it looks really cool, and I like the way it looks. Yeah, so I use that there with like a little bookshelf next to it and a little glass table with a lamp on it, just to add a little bit of detail and make it look a little bit more lived in. Anyway, what we're doing here is the kitchen. So the kitchen is very interesting. I really like the way the kitchen turned out. It's one of my favorite rooms in the house, because it's a cross between the modern and the Egyptian style, which you'll see. So we kind of have this wraparound cabinetry, and an island there where I put bar stools soon. And I'm also changing the color here of the cabinets. I believe they stay metal topped. Yeah, they do. So you have this metal top with a white cabinet. There's the oven, and there's a sink, and the refrigerator goes over there. My favorite refrigerator. And also some cabinets as well. Some upper cabinets, just one on this side, and I believe there's one over there. And the cabinets on the upper side are darker, and the ones on the bottom are white, so just kind of like an interesting contrast I did there. Also changing the color of the sink, and also a bunch of pots and pans hanging there. Yeah, and here is where I changed this wall over here to this stone from outside, which I kind of like. I think it's very interesting. This little weird space in here is going to be the laundry room / storage area. So this part of it is storage, so you can see there's a bunch of shelves in there. And the other part here is the laundry room area. So because of the walls that kind of block it off, you can't really see in there unless you walk in there. So it's kind of like a cool little hidden storage area where you can just store stuff. I don't know. It's mainly a laundry room. So that's what it is. There's no door to it, but I made good use of that really weird space that I had there. So yeah, that's what I did. Just putting in the details and stuff. Also a plant there and a little art piece, which is nice. And yeah, so putting in some knives, which is good to have in a kitchen so you can cut up your food. And there's a dishwasher there, which is always useful to have as well. So it's got a very luxurious house here, kind of out in Egypt. Kind of far from the town. It's not really that far from the town center, but it's a very interesting house. I kind of like it, especially the location is what makes it interesting. Also, I have some bright orange bar stools. You can see they're on a little table in the center of the kitchen here with a round rug around it. And yeah, also a little rug there under the sink and oven. Anyway, so I'm doing here is the dining room. You can see this solid wood table, and I also get these chairs in here, which aren't too modern, but they are still kind of modernish. I guess they go kind of like a light soft green. Another rug under that, of course, and a nice plant on it. I really love that sunflower plant. It's very nice. Also, a bunch of plants there under the stairs there, and also a what do you call that? It's like a cover. It's not a cover. What's the word for that? I don't remember. That's pretty pathetic. Yeah, there's like a shade in there. I guess I don't know. A wooden shade. Whatever. I'm putting in a bookshelf here, a long and low bookshelf, and a lamp next to it. I also put in a couple chairs. There we go. So I guess you can grab a book from the bookshelf and sit there or something. Or I don't know. It's just a nice little sitting area. A little table there so you can rest your feet on it, I guess. Some plants and another plant there to go next to that one in the entranceway. Just add a bit of detail and stuff like that. Also some more plants. I like to put a bunch of plants in one corner so it looks a bit more layered. I guess, I don't know. Also putting in some plants in here where the trees are, just so when you look through the windows you can see it's kind of like nice and landscaped. I'm also doing putting little plants in the smaller ones as well. And yeah, so that's pretty much that. This wall area was kind of weird, so I was kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do with it. I ended up putting an inaccessible shelving area in there, which is kind of kind of weird, but I wanted it to have some use. I guess it could have been storage, so that's what I did here. You can see I put in like a little shelving unit here, next to the stairs, I guess. I mean, in real life it would probably be usable, but in The Sims they can't access any of that stuff. Not that they could anyway, because anything that places on a shelf it's just a decorative item anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, I'm just changing the color here of these holes, if you will, in the floor, the glass squares in the floor, which is kind of interesting. I made them kind of a black tint instead of white. Yeah, also putting in a bit of railings here, so it's all finished off and nice and safe for your Sims. Putting in some lights here, some ceiling lights, of course, and yeah, so we're just going to finish off the bedrooms. That's pretty much all that's left of this house. And yeah, so this is going to be the master bedroom here at the back of the house. And I used glass doors, and I kind of put a frost on them. These are into the future doors. I put a wooden frost on them, so they're see-through, but barely. I mean, in real life, you still would want it to be a solid door, but in The Sims, it's kind of an interesting thing, and I like the look of that. It's very modern. Yeah, I put that, use that door all upstairs, and some more lighting, of course, and some blinds on the windows. And I also put a holographic wall art there, just because I don't usually use that, even though I really love the holographic wall art. It's really nice, but I don't use it that often, so I use it in here. Also, changing the color of all these windows again. Yeah, I put them in, but I never changed the color of them to match all the other windows of the house, so I went through and did that at this point, which took forever, but, because this is like at 7 times speed, so it did take a lot longer than what it looks like here. Yeah, but anyway, I'm just changing them all, and it looks quite nice. Yeah, so what am I doing here? I'm getting a chest for behind this couch. I was looking for something to put behind the couch, so I find this really interesting kind of chest. I don't know what the word is. I guess it's a chest, you could say. Yeah, also I found, while I was looking for that, I found these sculptures from Showtime, and I used them on the side of the house here to kind of look like, I don't know what they look like. They're just kind of interesting. I don't know. It's kind of like a bridge thing. But anyway, here's the chest that I was talking about, and I put that there behind the couch. Also putting a little bit of a rug in this landing here, and I also put a bookshelf up here and a couple plants, so just so it kind of looks nice and finished off. Oh, is this where I do the curtains? I think I go through multiple curtains before I choose them. Like I put all the curtains out and I don't like it, and then I come back and change them. So the original curtain color was like a dark green, I think. Yeah, it was, which I didn't like, so I ended up changing it to the wicker color that I used on all the carpets. It looked a lot more cheerful, you know. And it was a little bit depressing. There we go. So yeah, I changed it to this wicker color, which I actually really like. You know, so there we go. So I put that in all the curtains throughout the whole house. It's a very nice color, actually. So it looks good on curtains, and it matches what's on the floor as well, which is nice. A bunch of plants in that corner there. And now we're moving on to the guest bedroom, or the first bedroom. And you can see here, it's going to be a blue color, so I'm just changing the color of the walls here. And putting windows on the tree bits, the tree cutouts, I don't know. Also putting in the bed. You can see it's a very large bedroom once I put the bed in. And the master bedroom's even bigger than this, I believe. So, you know, very large bedrooms. Oh, what am I doing here? I'm putting in the balcony for the master bedroom, actually. So this is a balcony for the master suite. So you can look out. I think it looks out to the water. It does. Yeah, so this will look out to the ocean and to the pyramids, the Great Pyramids. There's one Great Pyramid, and it looks out to the Great Pyramid and its companions. You know, so it's really nice. As you can see here, I'm just putting in the little half walls there and glass bits for it. So it looks very nice. You can see here. And yeah, so it's a nice little balcony that kind of goes over that second layer of the lower porch. Not that porch, lower I don't know, balcony, I don't know, what's the word? Yes, it is a porch, I don't know. Anyway, putting in some closet doors for the master's bedroom, and the master closets, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, also putting in some stairs so you can actually get in and out of the house. That's always useful. So some back steps here, for the back, 2-layer back porch. You can see here, there's one step there, and then there's 2 coming down from the other part, and also some front steps I put in earlier. Also putting in a pool surround, which is nice. And I am changing the color of the top of that bit. And yeah, so also I put in some lights in the staircase here, so it's a little bit more well lit, because that wall was glitching out and becoming like pitch black. So you can see once I put some more lights in here, it kind of lights up and it looks much better. Anyway, this is the guest bedroom. We've finally come back to it, and you can see here I'm just choosing the colors and getting in the items. Yeah, so there's the bed. It's a very nice modern bed from Showtime, and those base game end tables. And I also really like these shelves that kind of stagger on the wall above the bed, which I think looks very nice. I also put in some plants in the right corner, as you can see. Yeah, it looks very nice, very elegant. I put a bunch of items on the shelves, which I really like, including that lime green lantern, which actually is on the wall, but it looks like it's on the shelf. Yeah, so just a bunch of items, some little flowers on the nightstand, and also plenty of storage. So you can see we have a dresser, 3 dressers actually, so you have plenty of storage for clothes. Also putting a little sitting area in here with wicker furniture. Now wicker furniture might not be that elegant, but it looks good in this room because the house is kind of wickery with the wicker carpets and stuff, so it actually all turns out quite nicely, so you can see that. Putting in the wicker rugs, actually. And there's a mirror with a little table under it, I don't know, just for a little bit of detail in that corner. There's also a phone on the table, so they have quick access to a phone. And I like these little plants here I put, and I made each one a different color, just for a little bit of accent or something. Also, there's a lamp in the corner there. And that's pretty much that bedroom finished. Nice bedroom. We're doing the bathroom here, I believe. So this is going to be the guest bathroom. So it's only 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, this house. So, this is the first bathroom, the one that's not the master. It's got this really nice rock floor texture, which is also from World Adventures. It's also got double sinks in case, I don't know, just in case. And also a shower and a toilet, I believe. There's no bathtub in this room, but there is a bathtub in the master bathroom. So there's a bathtub in this house. Also just choosing the tile colors for the shower. There's the toilet, and a little bit of a rug on the floor there, wicker rug, and yeah, all the little accents I always have to put in, like toilet paper, hand towels, stuff like that. Yes, there's the hand towels, choosing the colors carefully, and you're getting like a little fossil thing over the toilet, and a little hand towel. There's some soap for the sink, also a hair dryer, which is always nice to have, and yeah, some little paintings here just to add a little bit of extra detail. And yeah, there's also a lamp there. It's a really giant, oversized lamp, and I put a chair under it, this like blue chair, I don't know, just to fill in that corner, I guess. Anyway, we're moving on to the final room inside the house, which is exciting. This is the master suite. You can see this is going to be the master bathroom, which I think I do first for some reason. Maybe not, I don't know. But you can see the master bathroom has a tree that goes straight through the middle of it, which is very interesting. Yeah, but it looks really cool. Also, the bedrooms have a lighter wood floor than the rest of the house does, which was not intentional, but when I realized I didn't change it, I actually liked it, so I kept it that way. Here's the master bathroom. There's a double sinks, the giant tub, toilet, and showers. You can see there. That tub is just ginormous. But anyway, you can see it's a very nice master bathroom, very large. There's also a huge mirror that goes from sink to sink. You know, plenty of counter space. You know, it's just ginormous, which is nice. You know, there's plenty of room in this house, so you should have a giant bathroom. And yeah, so just putting in some more details into the bathroom here. I put sconces on the glass windows, which in real life would make no sense because there's no possible way you could do that without any wires. But, you know, it's The Sims, you need to have a little bit of an imagination. And also it looks a lot better, so that's why I did it. Also a huge amount of towels, plenty of towels. And also a little hand towel there for the sink, 2 hand towels for the sink. There's huge amounts of towels in that bathroom. And of course some curtains. Yeah, so now we're moving on to the master bedroom itself, I believe. So it's got a 4-poster bed, which is on a stage, actually, which makes it very fancy. Of course, you can see here I'm just putting the stage in. It's kind of like a little angled bit at the end, which is interesting. You can see there's the 4-poster bed. Just changing the colors of it, so I'm just getting in the appropriate wood color so it can match a little bit nicer. I got this interesting kind of texture that goes over the bed, like the fabric that has those strips that go across the 4-poster bit. Yeah, very interesting texture on that, or pattern. Also putting in some lamps, some interesting lamps, those are. Took me a little bit of time to rotate them around correctly. And also putting in some details on the counters, not really counters, the nightstands, and also a flat screen television, of course, which is always nice to have in your master bedroom, and some plants to go around it, just so it looks nice, I guess, I don't know. And yeah, so plenty of plants, I mean quite a lot of them, and some rugs, of course, just some nice rugs, and also put a little seating area in here as well, which is something that you'd expect. So there's a little couch, of course, a little love seat. And I love that love seat and this chair that goes with it because they have the pillows on them, and you can change the color of the pillows. I really like that. Yeah, and there we go. So it's a nice little couch sitting area, and it's also got these little plants that I changed the colors of to some bright, fun colors, just for, you know, a bit of an accent. A little bit of an accent, yes. Okay, this is going to be the master closet. This is the main closet. There's 2 closets, his and hers closet, so this one's twice the size of the other closet. So you can see here, plenty of shelves in here, and then we also have a bunch of clothes in the other closet, but this one has clothes and shelves, so, you know, a lot of room. There's also shoes in here as well, and just some random clutter items on the shelf. I did put clothes on the shelf here, just that's like the only piled up clothes we have in the game, so that's what I use there. And you know, it kind of looks like a closet. Yeah, it's nice. I mean, in real life you probably have a lot more clothes than that, but you know, whatever. Also putting in some lights there. This is the other closet there, the smaller one, which just has clothes in it. And yeah, there's also like a little bit of a drawers set in there, a set of drawers in the smaller closet as well. Also putting in some more interior lighting, of course, just so it kind of looks a bit brighter inside, so it's not so dark. Also a mirror in that closet as well, the larger closet. So you know, if you put on some clothes, you can see what you put on. Also doing the outside furnishing and stuff. So here I'm putting in an outdoor kitchen, which is nice to have. So you have the full kitchen with a grill, an oven, a refrigerator, and a sink, so you have the full set of kitchen stuff there. But anyway, we're nearing the end of building here, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and there's going to be more shows like this here on the Sims Resource YouTube channel, so you should definitely click subscribe. There's also more shows, sim-related shows besides mine as well, that you should definitely check out. Also, if you want more of my stuff, I do have a YouTube channel, and I make stuff like this all the time, so you can check out my YouTube channel, which has appeared on the screen multiple times, I believe, and it is Simtastic Builder on YouTube. Also, this house will be available for download on my website, which will link you to the Sims resource where you can download it. Also, you can check out my profile on the Sims resource as well, which will be shown at the end of this video. So, you know, you can download this house if you wish. You can also check out my other videos and check out other shows of mine here on the Sims resource channel and stuff like that. There's plenty of things for you to do. It's very exciting. You know, so I'm just wrapping it up with some landscape lighting in the pool by the looks of things. Also put a pool fountain, if you noticed while I was saying all that stuff. Also, under all the floors here, I like to neaten it up, so I just put in some black paint. It's just something I like to do, so it looks like nice and neat, so places your Sims can't go, you can't see, which makes more sense, I guess. Anyway, so I'm putting in my roof lighting, which I really like to do. I like to put in some roof lights, and a bunch of other landscape lighting just around the place, so it looks nice at night, which is always important, I think. And a bunch of lights under the plants and stuff. So anyway, we're almost finished. You know, just putting in some actually alarms. This is always nice to have. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed them. Bye.